Hi, I'm Jan Quarterman, and I'm a member of the Des Moines branch of WILPF. And it's also my honor to serve as the co-coordinator for our CSW programs. And the one that I work with is the Local to Global program. We were there in March. Those annual meetings always take place in March. I think they're an important part of WILPF's work. In so many ways, the UN's work is WILPF's work. Their objectives, as defined by their charter, and they've been chartered since 1945. Number one, maintain international peace and security. Number two, protecting human rights. Number three, delivering humanitarian aid. Number four, promoting sustainable development. And number five, upholding international law. Our foremothers were the first women's organization and one of the first NGOs to get consultative status at the UN. That gives us a little bit of a step up, a little bit of way to really engage a little deeper with the UN. It also has responsibilities. We have to follow the protocols. I guess that's another thing I appreciate about being part of WILPF is that our international has taken great stock in that consultative status. And we get to meet them, meet the staff, and meet so many WILPF members when we're there. At the UN, my role is to kind of facilitate the passage and the engagement by four seasoned WILPF members. And I think we had a great crew this time. I was really happy to two of them I had not met, two of them I knew quite well. In fact, one of them is from my very own branch, and I was so pleased that she was able to go with us. This is the largest gathering of women, I think, in the world, but I think there were 9,000 people that had NGO status, and then there were several of us that because of WILPF's consultative status, we were able to get inside the UN and attend the side events.
My name is Odile Huguenot Heber, and I am with a branch that is called Ann Arbor Ypsilanti branch in Michigan. And I have been at least a long time with that branch now. I think I joined WILPF in 1993. And I was chair for a long time of the branch, and now my branch is not very lively anymore, but I am trying to work to get new members. Commission on the Status of Women. I heard a lot about it, and I was chair of the Middle East Committee, and I was chair of my branch, and I wanted to know what we were doing there. And that's why I went, because I heard for a long time members speak about it. And also I thought it would be more international, and it would be better for me to meet more international members. I was impressed because there was 10,000 women. So first of all, that's impressive to have that many women showing up anywhere. So, and it was a little overwhelming. And the personal story I have is that we did invite women from Africa. And we had 4 women that spoke from Africa, and 2 of them only spoke French. So I translated French to English for them. So that a lot of women were active everywhere around the world. And I saw by what they say that women were not in charge in most places. They have government that do not include them as equal participant or active equal partner. So the men are calling on the women, but the women are not in charge for the most part. Like even in Cuba, they said there were a lot of women, 67% of women active in the agricultural field, yet there was no woman in charge there. This was not in Cuba, this was in Haiti. Haiti. That's it. I think we need to show much more the woman who do the work on the ground, to kind of reverse, from the top to the bottom and move more from the bottom up.
Hi, my name is Tara Vosifi, and I am the branch contact for the local Women's International League for Peace and Freedom branch that's here in this nation's capital, Washington, D.C., aka unceded Piscataway and Nachitang territories, and also known as Chocolate City, because it was the largest Black metropolitan center up until it became the fastest gentrifying city in America. So it's a really magical place to be, sacred land, sacred, sacred land. I'm also part of the Women, Money, and Democracy Issue Committee. To me, the most important thing that I gleaned from the experience was honestly being able to spend one-on-one time with fellow WILPF members, which was wonderful, but we could do that anywhere. We could do that in places that are much less expensive and also like catered to us actually having our voices heard, as opposed to basically just being like the filler, the women of color filler of this colonialist, entity known as the United Nations. And very importantly, peace was not mentioned once in the conclusions of the Commission of the Status of Women, which, when you were actually there as one of the 15,000 unimportant people, that's all we were talking about was peace. How do we make peace? We were talking about Gaza. We were talking about, Cameroon, Sudan, Iran, etc. The U.S., how to deal with this militarized war obsessed world that we live in that is primarily affecting women and children. When I went there, it was the first time I went to the UN, not as a protester. And what I observed is that in this society, peace is the marketing budget for the military industrial complex. I've been looking for something like WILPF my entire life. I knew that there existed spaces where women are heard and, are also followers of each other and supporters of each other. And we really listen to each other and we really figure out how to work with each other. So if you join WILPF, you're likely to add 10 years to your life because he was like everyone who's part of WILPF is like, just like defying all odds when it comes to life expectancy. You have to stay sharp, you have to stay attuned to the world around you to be part of this women-led revolution, I say with a capital E. I know that women will be able to create. We create, that's what we do. And so I know that we will be able to create a world of abundance and collective liberation, and it's coming and we'll rise with the waves. I don't know when it's going to happen. I don't know if it's going to happen in my lifetime or maybe 1,000 years from now, but that's what WILPF means to me, is at least an investment in peace of what is the absolute most that we can achieve from investing in this colonizer's institution.
My name is Sheila Harper. I'm with the Philly branch of WILPF, the City of Brotherly Love. I'm involved in both global and local activities for WILPF. Recently, when I was at CSW in New York in April, I participated on a panel that was led by some Nigerian physicians. It was about strengthening institutions to prevent gender-based violence, which is an area I have been working on for 20 years. I'm also part of the Philadelphia's Mayor's Commission on African, Caribbean, and Immigrant Affairs. So I kind of mesh all of that, especially gender-based violence, together. And is we focus on children as opposed to grown women. Locally, in terms of the U.S. WILF, I'm involved with anti-racism work, and reducing cultural bias. The feeling of being with 15,000 other women from around the world discussing issues that impact all women and girls, no matter where we're located, was beautiful. The opportunity to also meet WILFers from all around the US and global was overwhelming. The camaraderie that I was able to develop was beyond my past experiences at CSW. I particularly was impressed with our global representation. I've learned that the power of a group of women focused on solutions is extremely powerful. Recognizing that we have more in common than we do in terms of our differences. So the power of in-person networking has changed my life, especially with all of the women and the issues. There's so many issues, committees of WILF that because I guess maybe 2 years ago became a member, CSW pulls me in even more. And in fact, I am actually seeking some guidance from some of the former longtime WILFers in order to figure out how to integrate my life running Asia's Foundation combined with WILF. And because it's a lot. It's a lot, but it's worth it. And I just need to figure out how to balance.
My name is Carolyn Eulenhake Walker, and I'm with the Women's International League for Peace and Freedom branch, Des Moines branch. I'm also, and it's important to bring this up because I used it when I went to New York. I'm also on the Des Moines Citizens Task Force on Sustainability. I've kind of stayed completely local. I've been on leadership team of the Des Moines branch. I've been on all kinds of committees at the Des Moines level, but I haven't gone into the national level. And I think going to the UN was a very revealing and inspirational event for me because I realized how well known the U.S. WILF was and international WILF was at the United Nations level with their history of as a peace organization. So I've even thought about getting on the International Environmental Committee or the U.S. one as a result of going to the UN. Yeah. I decided the week before I went to the United Nations Commission on the Status of Women, I decided that I really wanted to make the project local to global, which is what our campaign was called. And because I'm so involved in local politics in Des Moines, and the local scene as far as the climate action plan in Des Moines, I decided that I was going to informally interview as many women from all different parts of the world on climate change, because I know the UN reports. I know all the. I've read lots of books and data, but I wanted to do some hear from actual women about climate change in their country. So at lunch at the UN and before meetings or walking to the different conference meetings that I went to, I just boldly talked to the person that was sitting next to me or walking with me and saying, you know, my name is, and I'm from the United States, from Des Moines, Iowa. Where are you from? And I probably interviewed 15 different people from all over the world. And just anecdotally, the questions were, is climate change happening now? I wanted to know now in your country. And number two, what are some of the, what's happening and what are the consequences? And WILF itself really could be a real powerful liaison when it comes to the existential issues of the military, nuclear weapons, and climate change. That WILF does and can play a powerful role in international politics and U.S. politics, as well as doing things like I do, which is just going to this, involved in committees with the City Council of Des Moines on climate change. So many opportunities for women to boldly move forward. Yeah. Just the historical look at Women's International League for Peace and Freedom, starting way back with Jane Addams and the women that went to the Hague trying to prevent World War I. I think that legacy is there, but I think hearing from U.S. WILF women and international WILF women how smart they are and how important they combine women's human rights with all those issues, sustainability and defense. I don't know. It definitely had an impression on me. I don't. It's kind of hard to talk, you know, say the feelings I had there. Military or climate change, which Noam Chomsky says are the two existential issues of our time. That I think we have to look at women's rights and the whole issue of women being in more power, because it's just too slow a progress with men in power. We've got to figure this out. I'm sorry. You know, women have an important role to make, and we need to keep fighting for that role, local to global.